Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so we were talking about the concatenate function, and we said it is used to join two words or more than two words to become one. It's like merging the names. So in our case here, we had customer first name and customer second name. So our objective was to merge them. So we said we can make use of the concatenate function and the ampersand symbol to join these two texts. So we said whenever we are evaluating this formula, when we look at the syntax for concatenate, the first argument is normally the text. As you can see here, this is text 1. That is the first text, which is this, Mercy, in cell A2. And then the second text, which is the customer's second name in cell B2. So even if we could be having the third and the fourth name, we could still highlight those names, but we separate them with commas. So don't forget the comma, very important. Because a lot of people, whenever they are using these functions, they normally forget to put comma. So separate the names by the commas. So when I hit enter here, you'll see it will evaluate to Mercy Kilonzo, but you notice that the name are just made like that, but there is no space. Like we could be having Mercy like this, and then a space, then Kilonzo. You see this one, we want this name to appear this way, not this way when they are intact. So at least separated by a space so that we can know that this is the first name and this is the second name. Now, how can we be able to achieve that? So remember, in Excel, for you to include a space, you simply hold down on the shift key and the and the at symbol, like that. And then you press the space bar and then the double quotes. So this means this is a space. This is a space. So if you don't want a space, it's just double quotes, but you do not hit the space bar, put a space in between the quotes. So if, for instance, we want Mercy Kilonzo here, we've used the concatenate function, but it is bringing the names when they are intact. There is no any separator. There is no space between the first name and the second name. So we have to separate them by a space. How can we be able to do that? We can be able to do that by incorporating a space on this formula. So just between the two names, I can decide now to include the space like that, and then put a comma. So that when I hit enter now, you see Mercy Kilonzo here has been separated with that space. Hope we are on the same page up to that point.
Yes.
Yes. So Mercy Kilonzo has been separated with a space, and right now we are good to go. We can now autofill the rest of the cells. So you see how we've combined the customer first name and customer second name into one name, but it is separated with a space. So we've made use of the concatenate function. So another option, if you don't want to use the concatenate function, is to use the ampersand symbol. Ampersand is this symbol here. That is and. So it's also used to join texts. So it's sometimes used as an alternative of text join. So whenever you have two names like this, you can decide you want to separate them with a space or combine them, but we are using a different approach. So we say this customer first name, that's why I've typed is equals to A2, and remember we are combining these two names. So and this B2. So I want you to see the result here, the output here. We've combined the two names, but there is no space. So we have to include a space here. Yes, we've made the name, but they should be separated at least by a space. So we can achieve that by saying is equals to A2 is equals to A2 and now here comes now the magic. I put that is double quotation and a space in between. And then I should also include another and that. See, same result as the way we used the concatenate function, but we've made use of the ampersand symbol to join the two names. Even we've included a space. Have you understood that point?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how we join two names or more than two names or even numbers. So that being said, I can just so let me undo that and let me simply paste these as values and erase this, delete this. Don't worry when you see those ref functions because we deleted. So apart from the concatenate function and the ampersand symbol, that's how you can join two names. So when we were doing our data cleaning task, the other task was to clean the email addresses of these customers. So we saw earlier that these email addresses just before the @ symbol, they are in lowercase. And then after the add symbol, the Gmail text is in capital letters, or it's in uppercase. So we need to transform this so that it becomes in lowercase. So it equals to, remember we've used upper and we've used proper, but this time we'll make use of the lower function. The lower function, what it does, it converts all letters in text string to lowercase. So whenever we say is equals to lower, so the syntax is we have to highlight the text. Where is that text? So the text is here in cell B2. So that's the only thing that we need to do. So you see now, Mercy Kilonzo email is correctly formatted. So when I do this, you see now the emails have been formatted well, all in small, in lowercase, which is how it's supposed to be, not in this form. Yeah, so far so good. I think for the text functions that we've covered, we've made use of these functions. And then we shall look at other functions as well as we go by. So when we go to column D, these are phone numbers. And these phone numbers, you can see the way they are. We have extra spaces. We have extra spaces here. And sometimes in Excel, you can have that option for removing spaces using the trim function. But you'll find some texts that are stubborn. That is, they don't, even if you say is equals to trim, it doesn't work. For instance, let's just try and see. You see these text, these numbers, they contain extra spaces. Just highlighted a number like this. We have extra space here, another extra space here. Now, when we try even to say is equals to trim, let's just experiment and see whether it will work. So you see, it's still giving the same result as this. That is, it's stable, it's not listening. So what do we do now in such scenarios? How can we get rid of the extra spaces here? So we are introducing another function called the substitute function. Yes, we know here we have spaces in between these numbers, but using trim alone is not giving the solution. So let's try to make use of the substitute function. So you might be wondering what substitute means. Just its literal meaning, you know what substitute is. Like if I say substitute Fred with somebody else, you know what I mean. So we can substitute this space with something else. So whenever we say For instance, whenever we say is equals to substitute, so substitute, the definition for it is that it replaces existing text with the new text in a text string. Gotten that? So whenever I say is equals to substitute, so what are you substituting? So this is the syntax. And then what you are seeing here, we have argument 1, argument 2, and then we have another optional argument. So when we say is equals to substitute, it asks for you for the text that you want to substitute. So we are substituting the old text, it has space. So in D8, what I'm currently highlighting here, that is the text. So what is in this text? We have a space. That's why I've made use of the double quotation with space in between. And then I must separate with a comma. So this syntax is leading you. So old text, then comma. And now, what should we substitute it with? That is the new text. This space that we are seeing here in this number, what are we substituting it with? We want to substitute it with nothing because we don't want space. It should be non-empty. How do we do that? We just put the double quotation, but we don't press the space bar. Just like that. So it means what we'll be getting, it won't have a space in between. See the magic? So this, you can now compare this result and this one. You see how it's working. So we can autofill this downwards. So you see now these 4 numbers are now correctly formatted. Yes, they are text. They are text but not numbers, but no space in between. Are we together up to that point, Olivia and Agnes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to lose anyone. Yeah. So just pay close attention to these things, because if you don't include a comma here, this comma here, then the formula will not work. So that's how to use the substitute function. So we've done that, and we've been able to remove the extra spaces that were in this number. So let's move on. So here, this is a name of cities. Names of cities, these are nouns. We should begin with a capital letter, that is the uppercase. for each word or for each city. So upper then text is this. But now it's good if we only have the first letter in caps. So let's use proper is equals to proper. So that it looks like this. Now this is more professional. So all the cities now are transformed. First letter of each city is beginning in uppercase. So no much cause of alarm there. Then we have agent name. I think this will just be a repetition, but it's just to make your understanding even better. So it's equals to, this we need to capitalize the first letter of each name. So it's equals to proper, like that, so that the name of each agent is capitalized. That is the first letter is capitalized, so that it looks like this. So here, when we go to call like this, I want to introduce you to other text functions that are very, very useful whenever you are handling text. So, and what we are going to introduce is the len function. Yes.
Okay, Fred, I have a question. For
Yes.
example, venye majina zetu kwa na like full stop Agnes, full stop Kenywa, will you substitute to remove like the full stop?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
Let's just try that before we can move to other text functions. Let me take that name. Let me paste it here. So Jen.abdi. So what will we do? We shall say is equal to substitute. Substitute, what are we substituting? The text is here. Then that is in S2. What is in alt text? What is in the alt text?
A dot.
Alt text has a?
It has a dot, yeah.
What do you want to replace it with?
A space.
A space.
You see, this is how you wanted it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is separating here. So long as, just pay close attention. Pay close attention here. This argument for old text. Whenever you are dealing with text in Excel, pick a name and you are putting it in a formula, any text, always double quotation mark. Like that. For instance, in this name, Jen.abdi. Whenever I'm specifying the old text, I don't just write dot hope you've noticed that. I don't just write a dot like that. When I do that, you see it's giving me this error. So make sure whenever you're putting that dot, make sure before it, we have that double quotation. After it, we have that double quotation for it to work. Otherwise, you'll keep getting the error that you've just seen. Even this space. So for instance, you say you just want to replace it with a space. So at that point, for new text, you just click on space, that hit the space bar like that. You see nothing. So make sure if you want a space, double quotation, space bar, double quotation, like that. Not single quotation, but double. So for Jane Abdi, simply after the comma, for a space, I'll put the double quotation, hit the space bar, and then another quote. And I close like that, and then hit on enter for it to work. On the same page, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you might find yourself in a trap, say, why is this substitute function not working? Maybe the problem that, or the mistake that maybe you might have made is simply not putting the quotation marks because you are referring to strings or symbols or characters, or even you did not put comma. So if we are good up to that point, we can now move on to other
Yes.
text functions. Yes?
Yes, we're okay. I'm okay, I mean.
Okay. So apart from len, we have right and we have left. Left. These ones are very, very important as well. So whenever you hear about the right function, it means you are extracting certain number of characters from the right. You know where your right hand is. Now you are extracting maybe certain number of characters, but you are beginning from the right. That is what right function entails. Left is the opposite of right. You are extracting certain number of characters, but you are beginning from your left hand. That is from the left. Len is the short form for length. Len counts the number of characters in a text. For instance, when we say is equals to len, you see here what pops up here. It says it returns the number of characters in a text string. So len of this text, when we want to know the length, so let's say is equals to len this. So what this essentially means is this text here has 13 characters. That is the length of this text, 13 characters. When we say is equals to len, But let me just change the reference to A to J, let's say, for example. So this name, Brian Odhiambo, has 16 characters. So length is essentially used in determining the number of characters. Then,
Is that's included?
what?
The space.
The space is included as a character.
Okay.
Anything, any symbol, a space, whatever you might think, it is counted here. So the length space is counted as well. So when we say, I want you to extract the code from call ID. So these are call IDs, but we only need to extract the code alone. So the code here is Nairobi, NBO. So we want to extract NBO from this call ID. And what you notice here is this call ID, it has the code, and then we have the year in between, and then we have now the code at the end, the call ID at the end. So when we want to extract such, we make use of the len, the right and the left function. But for extraction only, we make use of the right and the left function. So suppose we wanted to extract maybe the city code. The city code from this. The city code from this is aligned on the left. This is aligned on the left. NBO is on the left. So we will make use of the left function. Is equals to left. So left, and then the text is this. And then remember this. When you highlight the text, yes?
I'll leave on Ayana because I can't see where you're doing the is equals.
Just confirm.
Mhm. Yeah, naiona.
Where? Oh, kidogo tu. Maybe ni net yangu. Let me.
So whenever you are using the left and the right function, the first syntax is usually the text that you are referring to. And that text is here. In our case, is K2. That is the text. And then always you see the argument tells you, or the syntax tells you, you should separate it with a comma. After you put a comma, it tells you how many characters do you want to extract from the left. In your opinion, how many characters do you think we want to extract?
3.
Yes, very good. 3 characters. So we've extracted 3 characters. Then that's how to use the left function. That's how to use the left function. We have another function called the right function. So we want to extract now the call code alone. That is from the right. Call ID. Call ID specifically. And then this we make use of the right function. The right function here. How many characters do you think we want to extract from the right?
4.
Okay.
That's awesome. So we've extracted the call IDs. Now, the big question is, how can we extract the year? How can we go about extracting the year? So look, the year is not in the right, neither is it on the left. In your opinion, what do you think we can use? So whenever we want to extract text that are in the middle, we make use of the mid function. Very important. Mid function. So this function allows you to extract a text that is in the middle. So it's not in the left and it's not in the right. So if we want to extract here, for example, we want to extract here from this text, we will make use of the mid function. So we'll type here, this formula is equals to mid. Mid, the first argument is the text, which is this. Let's separate it with a comma. The second argument is the start number. So we want to extract here from this call ID here, but the first argument is text. The second argument is the starting number. Where do you want to start? So NBO is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it means the fourth character is where we have the hyphen. The fifth character is where we are now starting the year. So we say we extract from the fifth character. That is the start number. And the position of that character is what we are interested in. So it is number 5. So we put here 5. The starting number is 5, position 5. Then, how many characters from position 5 do we want to extract? How many? If it is 4, you say it's 4. If it's 5, you say it's 5. If it's 6, you say it's 6. But remember, in our case, we are only interested in the year. So we say extract only 4 characters. So I'll type here 4. And then I close the bracket and hit enter. We've extracted the year 2023 from this text. As simple as that. That is how you can use the mid function.
Okay,
So,
Fred, just a
yes,
question. For example, how our names appear agnes.kenywa@poainternet.net. So you can use this formula like to just get Agnes Kenya alone without the at poa.
and try that.
Okay.
At pointernet. .net, right?
Yes.
Yes. Let's say, first of all, let us determine the number of characters in this name. So let me copy this. And let me paste it here. How many characters are here? Is equals to len, to know the length of this. So these are 12 characters, right? So for me to extract Agnes.Kinyo from this email, I'll say is equals to length. Agnes is starting on the left, right? Is equals to left. The text is this. How many characters are we extracting? How many?
5.
That's 10. No, 11.
Remember, I've used the len to
Yeah,
I've used
12.
len
12.
to calculate the number of characters that you are extracting.
Oh, so we are extracting the whole thing. Agnes.Kinyo.
Yes, we are extracting Agnes.Kinyo because as Agnes, you had stated you want to extract just your name,
Yes.
leaving out whatever is after that is including the at, and then the pointer, and we are leaving that out. That's what you are suggesting, right?
Yes, yes, that was the question.
Yes. So here it is.
Mm,
You see how you've extracted by using the left function.
yes.
Very good. So that this is how useful these formulas are, or these functions are.
So, Fred, just before you end, like for example, the names maybe are not the same, the length, I mean. So if you drag it down, it will just pick automatically the number of the letters in that specific name.
Yes, yes, it will just pick. But as we advance, we'll look at those scenarios
Okay.
whereby you see we have other functions like text after. Text before. Those functions are now what you are trying to imply. Yes, the number of characters are not the same. But if we have a formula that is using text after or text before, for instance, we might say that texts that appear before at, we extract. So regardless of the lengths of the various email addresses that will be having, it will only extract the names like Agnes.Kinyo. You get it, eh?
Yes, I get it.
Yeah, so you won't have to go manually calculating what's the length of this agent email address, what's the length. That is tedious. But if you just say extract the name before at or extract the names after at, just works automatically. Hope we are together.
Yes, yes.
Now that is
That's it.
even better. So that only works. So the text before the number of characters that you are using only works for the same number of characters, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sasa, thank you.
Umeelewa?
Yes.
Yes. So having said that, what we've covered is so far so good. So you know how to use the mid function. You know what len is. You know what left is. You know what right entails. You know how to use substitute. You know how to use lower. You know how to use upper. You know how to use proper. You know how to use concatenate. How to use this symbol. You know how to use stream. You know how to use clean. Hope now your vocabulary is building day on day. So far so good. We've covered quite a number of text functions. But I
Like,
was presented, yes?
mind repeating just a little bit on clean?
Clean. So,
Clean.
clean, we said, is used to remove invisible characters in a text, like hidden spaces or hidden symbols within a text. That is the role of clean. So if you have a text that has hidden spaces, and hidden spaces are spaces that you can't see, they are invisible. So you make use of the clean function. And the syntax is simply simple. When you say is equals to clean, you see it immediately highlights what the function does. It removes all non-printable characters from text. These non-printable characters, they are characters, even when you print, you won't see them. So they are invisible. So that's where the clean function comes in. So what do you want to clean? So it has only one syntax or one argument, and that is the text that you want to clean. Either it's this, you say it's that. So it removes any hidden space or invisible characters. So that is the role of clean.
Can it be
Leave
used
alone.
for?
Yes.
Can it be used on large data?
Yes, exactly. It can be used. It's not limited to only a small data set. Whatever we've discussed here, all of them applicable even if you have thousands of records. It's still applicable. So we are just doing this to demonstrate how you can use these functions. But whenever you are having large data, of which it is the real scenario, that is what you will get on a day-on-day basis. You'll be dealing with thousands of records, and you will have to clean that data. You will have to use these text functions that I'm showing you here. Hope on the same page now.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was presented with a problem, and I need your help. Whenever agents handle calls, they normally put a tag or what is called call notes, right? They normally
Yeah.
put call notes, or what is normally termed as tags. So if, for instance, I receive 500 calls and I have 500 tags, and I only want to find out of these 500 calls, how many were dealing with refunds? How many were network related? How many were escalations? How can I be able to achieve that from this? And this is what you normally have. You have these call tags. You have these call tags. And then I ask you a question. How many payment related issues did we record yesterday? And you have these tags. Still now, this is a real world problem because you can navigate through maybe more than 1,000 records and tell me the number of network related issues, or let's say 200 or 100, or the refund related issues, they were 120. See, and such, maybe what most people are doing, they are relying on, maybe you put a pivot table, then after you put a pivot table, that's it. You can't be able even to distinguish which were refunds, which were escalations, which were network related issues. You can't. But your savior is here. Your savior has come. If you want to know the related issues, for instance, related to refund, you can make use of these functions. It's the search function. The search function is very powerful. And so I'm just including here in your vocabulary of functions so that you know how you can use them. So the search function is used to search text or numbers. So when you have millions of records or thousands of records and you are trying to find something, we make use of search. So let's see the syntax for search. Equals to search. You see, when I highlight search, it returns the number of character at which a specific character or text string is first found. It's reading from left to right, and it is not case sensitive. Either that is in capital letters or whether it is in lowercase, it doesn't matter. So long as you are using the search function. So is equals to search. So here I was trying to find the number of refund related issues. Refund related issues. So I'll click on that function. So the first argument is find text. And then the second argument is within text. So find text. So we want to find refund. So I should have started with refund. So we said it can either within text, within this text, so you see it's giving me 15. So what search does, it tells you what you are searching in this text is starting at number 15. So when you count this, all of this, you'll find it's 15. First to learn. Yeah, so there was a space that hasn't been included, but it's 15. So refund is starting from number 15. So it is giving you where refund is, the position. So it's position 15. Hope on the same page after that point. Tuko pamoja?
Yeah.
So that is problem half solved. We haven't found the number of refunds related issues from this text because we have to navigate through all these call notes, or better you can refer them to as call tags, in order for us to find the refunds. So at this juncture, we know that refund is at position 15. So I'm going to introduce another function called isNumber. Yes? Hand was raised.
No, I'm done requesting if I can drop. Ama tuko karibu kumaliza.
Yeah, we are almost. No problem, we are almost. Yeah, so isNumber is a logical function. For instance, when you want to test whether this is number, you'll say is equals to isNumber. For instance, when I say is equals to isNumber, like this, You see, it says false. It means this one, even though you are seeing 2023 here, it's not a number, it's a text. That's why it's giving you false. Up on the same page. But when we say is equals to is number 15, see, this is number and it's returning true. So we can nest this and tell Excel, we can include its number here. See, we can include its number like that. So it's say where we put this formula is number. So remember, the first part of the formula was set, and it evaluated to 15, which was a number. We've tested this, and we've used its number, which has proved it's also true. But now, the problem is 75% solved. We have to introduce another function called the if function. If this is evaluating to true, then give us refund. If it is not evaluating to true, give us a blank or nothing. So let's say if, so value if it's true, it should give us refunds. Otherwise, just give us a blank. So you see, call tag number 1 was refund related issue. So we can now autofill this all the way down. And now we can know out of all these tags, how many were refund related. Are we on the same page, Olivia? Ama nimewachanganya.
Formula imecomplicate.
And that's
Again,
why I want you to harden.
yeah.
I want you people to harden. So because in a real world scenario, mtu atakuja kuambia ati search. So how will search help you alone? I told you, for you to harness the power of Excel, you must be able to combine various formulas or various functions in order to come up with a solution. So my problem here was, yes, I have call notes or call tags, but I want to know specifically out of this number of calls, how many were fund related, how many were network related, how many were escalations, and so on. You see what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
For
friends,
instance,
just a
yes.
moment. After if was that the opening bracket, was it there before before you introduced if? It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was not
Okay,
there.
so it was if you introduced if and the bracket, then you closed it. That is why we have the double bracket here at the end, then the comma.
Yes.
Now, okay, yeah.
So the thing is, don't cram. Look,
Oh,
Excel formulas. If you want to nest Excel formulas, Excel normally evaluates formulas from right going to the left. Now, that's why you saw these other formulas I was putting them after I have began my first uh, function, because my first function was search and it returned the position of refund in that text, right? And then I tested whether, because search always returns the position which is in terms of a number. When we test if that is a number, so if it evaluates to a number, it means that that is a refund related issue. But remember, it is not giving us refunds, just giving us a number, the position, that is position 15 in our case here. But now if we test that, if it evaluates to true, we know actually that is a refund. If it doesn't evaluate to true, we know that is not a refund, it's another issue. And that's why at last I introduce if to test. If this is evaluating to true, if now from its number are going to the right, if it is evaluating to true, then give us a refund. But if it is evaluating to false, then give us a blank.
Blank. Okay.
Umeelewa? So
Yeah.
one trick with Excel formulas, it requires you to reason, not even to cram formulas. Just reason. Reason logically. What do you want to achieve? What do you want the end result to achieve? And always debug your formulas. Know what each part is doing. Because for me, I know when I use search and search for refund, I know what is giving me is just giving me the position of a refund in that text. Only the position. So I borrow another function, that is number. Yes, if I know this search function will evaluate to a number, it means that a refund related issue is there, that text. So it will give me true. So if it gives me true, then give me now the tag as a refund. Otherwise, give me blank. You get, that's how I've combined if number and search function together to solve this problem, of which is the power of now knowing these formulas. So knowing formulas or knowing function is one step, but knowing how to apply them to solve a problem is another thing. You get it?
Yeah.
It's another thing. So if you ask me the number of refund related issues right now, I can tell you how many they were. Out of all these calls, let's say you want escalations. So you can just replace refund with escalate, escalate, something like that. If anything has something to do with escalate, then it should give us escalation. Escalation. You see, you've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can know the number of escalations out of these tags. So that is it, how you can combine. So we've made use of various function and search and is number and if were one of the functions that we've utilized and we've solved this problem. So With the mini project that I shared, this is what I was expecting, and this was the end goal. This was the end goal that I expected. So this one has changed because I deleted one of the columns in the raw data. So this was the expectation. So hope in your own time, you can go through the project, the capstone project, just if you find time. Now try to apply whatever we planned. It is you don't have to submit, it's just for your own practice, whether you can be able to come up with something like this.
Okay.
Hope we are together.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that marks the end of today's class. So hope it has been enjoyable, and I'm hoping that you've learned something new.
Yeah, a lot of things. A lot. The only thing that wasn't very new is concatenate. Concatenate and the if function. Everything else, nimesoma leo.
Yeah, so with practice and what I've just shown you is the straightforward approach. Like this function is doing this function is doing. Now I'll bring problems. We use those functions to solve problems, and that is the essence of why you are here.
Yeah.
We use them to solve problems. We are looking for solutions, not whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
Can you use them to solve anything? That's why we are here. Yeah, with that being said, Olivia, good if you've learned something new. Has Agnes dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But hope also on our end, she learned something new. So we can catch up tomorrow. We can maybe come and touch on new problems or learn new text functions, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's just
Yeah.
meet tomorrow.
Okay, stop the
So,
recording in case you forget.
hey, thanks kunikumbusha. Unajua ninaweza
Ni vibaya sana tukimsia.
and this is a very important class.